everyone, it's Kelly here. Welcome to my channel if this is your first time. Welcome back if you've been before. Lovely to have you either way. On this channel we talk books. Today I am vlogging because I need some accountability. I need somebody to be like, Kelly, you need to read the books. Don't keep starting more books. You need to read the books. So thank you for your role in that ahead of time, and for keeping me accountable. I am going to be doing this as a reading vlog today, and I have quite a few books on the go at the moment, and my goal for today is I want to finish a couple and I want to make progress on a couple of other ones. So let me tell you about the books. I'm going to start with this one, Fierceland by Omar Musa. This is a book I have out from the library. So number one, also this is the second time I've had to get it out from the library because I didn't finish it the first time. Then I had to wait because someone had reserved it. Wait for 2 weeks, then I got it back again. This book just won the Miles Franklin Literary Award here in Australia. I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm up to page 172. So I'm a fair way into this one. There's where my bookmark is. This is one of the ones that I'm hoping to finish today. Sorry, I should have said at the start of the video, if you can hear my voice a little bit croaky or my nose a little stuffy, I've been sick. I've been off work for the whole week. And today I'm feeling mostly normal, and it's just that sort of residual stuff, so apologies if hopefully it's not too gross for anybody. Anyway, this is one that I'm hoping to finish. The other one that I'm hoping to finish today is The Secret River by Grenville. This one is one of the books I'm reading for the challenge that I've just set for myself, the long-term challenge of reading Australian books in the Australian literary canon. This is one of the more modern ones. It was published in 2005, which is a long time ago, but more modern compared to some of the other ones on the list. And I have mixed feelings about this one so far. But I'm working my way through it. So I'm up to page 181 in this one. So we are past the halfway marker on this one also. So those are the two that I'm hoping I will finish today. So this is my great goal for the day. Another book that I am currently reading is War and Peace by Tolstoy. This one I'm reading as part of my long-term challenge of reading the books that I own from the Guardian Top 100 Best Books of All Time. I forget what the list was called, something along those lines, which I've been working my way through this one for a little bit. I am a fair way into it, actually. I'm page 221 is where I'm up to, but this book is over 1,000 pages long. So I'm not even a quarter of the way through. Yeah, so it's 1,300 pages basically. So anyway, I'm not hoping to finish this one today, but I would like to make a little bit of progress on it because I have a thing that I've been trying to do is read at least one chapter a day, and I've kind of dropped off from doing that for the last couple of days. But every time I pick it up, I'm into it, so it's not that I'm not enjoying it. I think it's intimidating, and I need to have that consistency and keep reading. So at least one chapter today, probably a little bit more, is what I'm hoping for. To the other book that I have on the go is one I only just started last night, and that is because I like to have a poetry book on the go. Again, this one is not what I'm hoping to finish. I've literally just started and it's quite chunky. And this one is called Poetry by Heart, a treasury of poems to read aloud. And the introduction is by Andrew Norton, but I remember there's more people than that. It's edited by Julie Blake, Mike Dixon, Andrew Motion, and Jean Sprackland. And this one is, as it sounds, it's all mostly older poems, and it's vaguely in chronological order of publication of these poems. So we started off with Beowulf, not the full poem, just a part of it. Anyway, I've only just started this one. I've read the introduction, I've read a couple of the poems, so I'm up to page 10, but the introduction is in Roman numerals in addition to that. Anyway, page 10 of the poems. So we'll probably read a couple of poems today, maybe just as a little bit of a palate cleanser, but those are the ones that I've got on the go. Now, I know I said I need to stop starting more books, but there is a book that I'm thinking that I might start today, depending on how things go. So all of the books that I've got at the moment, I mean, I guess technically the poetry is not fiction. I mean, it is, but it is, poetry is kind of its own thing. I don't have any non-fiction on the go, and I know that the book club for this is likely coming up in the next couple of weeks. I don't know what the date of it will be yet. But this book is called Schooling Misogyny, Exposing and Eliminating the Influence of the Manosphere in Education Settings by Stephanie Wescott and Stephen Roberts. This is a book that my union has a new book club, the Education Union in New South Wales. If you're a teacher, public school teacher, part of the union, join us if you wish. I haven't even started this yet, but I'm guessing that the meetup for this is going to be in week 6 or 7, and we're just about to go into week 4. So I am assuming I have basically 2 and a bit weeks maybe to read this one. So hopefully I can make a start on this as well, because I have a purpose for it. This one isn't too long, so I'm on page 0 of this one, but without the references, it is 124 pages long, so it's not super long. I think I can manage it. I'm not trying to finish this one today, but it would be good to make a start. So that's the other book that I've got on the go for today. So join me, will you, while I attempt to make a start on reading these books. Now, it is currently 8:50. I need to make some breakfast and have some breakfast because I haven't eaten yet today. I have had a shower, I've washed my hair, I've put washing out on the line, I've done the dishes from yesterday that I didn't get to. I've been busy this morning. I haven't eaten yet, so I'm going to go and have some breakfast, and then I will get started on reading these books. Okay, I've had my breakfast now. I did spill a little bit on my shirt, but that's okay. The cursed shirt. But I'm about to start doing some reading now. I'm thinking that I'm going to start with The Secret River, and let's see what we can get done in a little bit of time. Now, actually, okay, I'm very, very close to the next part, so I'll at least read to that. So that'll only be about 5 or so pages, and then if I'm in the mood, I'll keep going. Otherwise, I might switch to one of my other books. I've had a purry pillow on my shoulder with this reading that I've been doing, but I've made some good progress. I'm up to page 219, and I started out on 181. So I'm going to take a little pause because I need to go and put another load of washing out on the line. But when we come back, I think I'll keep reading The Secret River for a bit and see where we land. Hello. It is now exactly 12 o'clock, midday. I just want to give you a little update as to where I'm up to with things. I've taken a couple of pauses to hang out more washing and all the rest of it. So just to let you know, I've still only been reading The Secret River, but I am now up to page 237. So we started at page 181, 237 is where we're up to. I am feeling like I need to switch to a different book for a bit, and then potentially come back to this one a bit later, because I do still want to finish it, though I've been thinking about the timing of these things, and I'm wondering if this ends up being a 2-day vlog rather than a single day vlog. We shall have to see. But this is, I think, the time for me to pick up Fierceland. So I'm going to switch over to Fierceland and see what kind of progress I can make. This is a really interesting one. I realised I haven't told you anything about the books that I'm reading, so let me tell you a little bit about Fierceland. So basically we are following 2 siblings called Roz and Harun, and they were born in Malaysia, so they're Malaysian, in Borneo, on the island of Borneo. And their father, Yusuf, has just died in the present day timeline, which is 2018, I believe, and because it tells you the year. But we go back to 1998 when they were still children. So their father is a businessman. He's come from a very poor background, but he is trying to make lots and lots of money, and he is successful in doing that. But the way that he does that is he becomes a palm oil baron. I guess I don't think he's specifically personally doing the farming, but he works out how to, and basically he is responsible for a lot of forest land being stripped back to make way for palm plantations for palm oil. So the money that the riches he amasses come from massive destruction of the environment, and also some of his practices are less than ethical in the way that he also deals with other people. And back in 1998 he took his, and this is at the beginning of things, so he already had money, but he was on the cusp of making a lot more money. And he took his 2 children, Roz and Harun, who were in their childhood. So I think Roz might have been a teenager at this point, like a young teen, and Harun might have been 8 or 9 or something in that vicinity. He takes them on a trip to basically a bit of pristine forest that he's about to have cleared. While they're there, they witness something occur that is criminal, and it's sort of like the far-reaching impacts of that thing that they observe happening. I won't elaborate on what it is, because I'm not even still 100% sure what it is, because it's been alluded to, but it hasn't been clearly stated at this point. So, but it's clearly had long-lasting impacts on these kids, who have gone in completely different directions in their life. They're both sent off to Australia, to Sydney, to go to school after this point. So Roz kind of rebels and ends up becoming an artist, and Harun somewhat follows in the footsteps of his father in terms of becoming a businessman, but he kind of turns to becoming very religious, and his father is not religious, but he becomes quite religious, and also sort of turns to discipline, I guess, as a response to this thing that he and his sister have witnessed. And in the book we're kind of going through different perspectives, so we go between their perspectives in the 1998 timeline to the 2018 timeline, and they're pulled back to Malaysia for their father's funeral because he has passed away, and we're just kind of slowly having the story revealed to us. But the character whose head we're about to jump into is neither of those two. It is his father's like offsider, who we have not yet had a chapter from. Oh, also I should say sometimes it is not them. This is the very first chapter, and it's from the perspective of the forest, and it's a poem, and I love it. It was a really, really awesome beginning to a book. But yeah, anyway, we're about to jump into the headspace of the dad's offsider, and he's not a good guy. So I'm not necessarily looking forward to this chapter particularly. But then after that, we go back to the forest and then back to Rosanna in we're going into 1999. So this is going to high school in Australia. So yeah, let's continue reading Fierceland. Hello. It is now 3:44 in the afternoon. I got a little bit distracted, but I need to get back on track. I did do some reading, don't get me wrong, but then I didn't do reading for a good period of time. So, in Fierceland, let me tell you what I'm up to. I read up to page 225, and we started at 172. So we have made progress, but we are not finished. Okay. Game plan is snacks, back to reading. And I'm thinking I actually want to go back to The Secret River. Yeah. The book, The Secret River, not to A Secret River. Because that's where my heart is right now. I feel like when I'm sort of getting to these stopping spots, my brain is being like, change something up. So we're going to change up the book, go back to where we were before. I needed a break from it before with Fierceland, so now I need a break from Fierceland. I'm going to go back to The Secret River and see what we can get done. We are up to, starting at page 237. So let's see what we can get done, and before I need to bring the rest of the washing in from the back deck. The back deck. Just to be super clear. Because I've just brought in what was dry, and there's a few things that just need a little bit more time. But we've had really beautiful sunny day today, so everything has been drying very well, which is great because I did my bedding, and the sheets that I was washing today are my favourite sheets because they're the linen ones. I have one set of linen sheets and the other ones are cotton sheets. I don't like them as much. So I definitely prefer the linen ones, but you can't tumble dry them. You have to line dry them. So I have to it has to be a beautiful sunny day for that to work, especially in wintertime. We don't get a lot of sunlight, but it's been a very, very nice day today. So thankfully I'll be able to put those back onto the bed and have another cycle of using the sheets I prefer, rather than having to do the switcheroo, so that I can line dry over a day or two inside. So that's excellent news for me and my sleeping for this upcoming cycle. Anyway, let's get back on with the reading. That's enough of an update. on my laundry. So yes, we're going to get back to the Secret River. We're going to see what we can get done. I really want to try and finish at least one of these 2 books today if I can. And the Secret River is 334 pages. What did I say I was on? 237. So roughly 100 pages I need to read to finish this one. Let me just do that same check-in on the other book. So in Fierceland I'm up to 225, and it goes to 369. 369. So that one's got more to finish it. So I think my best bet for finishing a book today is going to be The Secret River, because it's got less to go. So let's see what we can get done. I may need to take another break from it, but we can come back to it, and that's okay. So let's do that, and I will check back in with you in a little bit. Hello everybody. I have finished The Secret River. I did it. Hooray. This was a confronting read, is how I would probably describe it. Not that anything... I guess everything was within the realm of what I expected from this novel, from what I know of Kate Grenville, the author, from what I know of the history. I'm glad that she didn't look away and that she went there, and especially given that this was published in 2005. Yeah, 2005. That's not the kind of how to say it. I guess it was not the expected thing back then, for a person to be so open about the complexity of what happened in Australia's history. You know, to be able to understand where an emancipated convict was coming from in wanting to own some land that never would have been a possibility back in England, because of poverty, because of all of the things that led to them being a convict in the first place. So you can get why and what was potentially going on in people's minds at the time. But to hold that at the same time as holding the absolute horror of what happened at the hands of those people to the Aboriginal people whose land it actually was, from the beginning. It was not their land, the land of the convicts who were going out and taking that land. It was not the land of the King of England. It was and always will be Aboriginal land, and what those, emancipated convicts were doing, even the quote-unquote good ones, was absolutely horrific. And I appreciated that Kate Grenville chose to hold that complexity in this book. I think that was, for a book that is told from the perspective of one of these convicts, it is definitely, it doesn't shy away from what he did, even though he, as an individual, as a fictional character, this was a well-researched book and was a reflection of what actually happened at the time. So, well done to Kate Grenville. I am giving this one 4 stars. I think that the beginning of the book was a little bit of a slower read for me, and I almost, if I didn't have the kind of will to keep going, I think I would have possibly dropped out in the first probably a bit less than a third, first fifth of the book, when it was still kind of set back in England, because I needed them to get to Australia to get to the good stuff of this story, the meaty stuff of this story. So it's not quite a 5-star read for me, but 4 stars for sure. Like, this was a very well written book, well researched. Well done to Kate Grenville. Okay, it is now coming up to 7 o'clock in the evening. I'm going to have a little something to eat, I think, some dinner. And then after that, I think I'm going to potentially pick up Fierceland again. I don't think I'm going to get this one finished tonight. I think I've got too much, although some of the pages are not full text, so it's possibly not as many like pages in terms of how long it's going to take me to read those pages in length as it seems. So there's a possibility that we could also get this one finished. So we'll strive, we'll continue on with the project. I also want to read a little bit of War and Peace tonight, and possibly make a start on my non-fiction book that I mentioned, Schooling Misogyny. So let's go have something to eat, and then we'll come back and continue reading, and I will check back in with you. Hello. It is, a lot of time has passed. We are now at 10:43 p.m. And I have, we've done some things. So first thing to update you on is that I have made some good progress on this book. I am up to page 300 and we started at 172. So that's a pretty decent amount, I feel, to have gotten through, especially given that we finished another book today. So yeah, I'm still enjoying this one. I'm still very keen on the story, and things are kind of like unfolding, and there's about to be a change of pace, I think. So we'll see. But I'm going to leave this now until tomorrow to finish off. So following on from doing that, I went to do some shopping at the supermarket because my husband and I like to do that at night time when it's quiet, and there's not kids, no children at the supermarket. So we went and did that. I still have to make the bed because I haven't done that after washing the sheets this morning. So that has to happen, but I didn't want to go to bed without having read my chapter from War and Peace. So I'm going to grab that now. Here it is. I'm going to read at least one chapter of War and Peace. Now, this book is quite chunky and it's very dense and heavy, so I can't read this in bed. It's too heavy, and I have to use my little book rest situation on my little table that I've got set up here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to read a chapter, and then I think I need to get myself organised to get to bed because I still need to go and put sheets on the bed. So let's read our chapter and I will check back in. Okay, I have now read my chapter. So checking, we started on page 221 and we are now on 228. So just a little update for War and Peace, but I'm glad I finally am getting back into my habit of reading my chapter every night of War and Peace, so that I can very slowly just be making my way through the book. Alright, I think I'm going to leave the vlog here for today, but I'm going to come back and continue vlogging tomorrow just to get this project done, because I really do want to finish Fierceland. And I also want to make a start on Schooling Misogyny. So I definitely will read a little of my poetry book in bed as well. So I'll update you on that in the morning to let you know where I get up to. Right, I'm going to sign off here for today, and I'll see you again in the morning. which will be no time for you and a fair amount of time for me. It's the next day. Good morning, everybody. I did not get a lot more reading done after I turned off the camera yesterday. I did read a tiny little bit of poetry by heart. I read, I think, about 8 pages or so. So we started at page 10 and I'm now up to page 18. So yes, 8 pages. So this one's just going to be a continual slow burn and I'll work my way through it. I'm not anticipating getting anywhere close to doing much more with that one before I close out the vlog at least. But today my goal is to finish Fierceland. I really want to get this one done today and I think we can do it. I'm currently up to, I'm going to be starting on page 300 and let's just confirm the total number of pages. 369. So I have 69 pages to read and I think that is a very achievable goal for today. So we're definitely going to do that, and I also want to read maybe a bigger chunk of War and Peace today than just one chapter, but we'll see how we go. And I definitely want to make a start on the other book, which I'm just pulling out of the stack. There's War and Peace. Schooling Misogyny. I also want to make a start on this one today. So let's go. It's done. We've read Fierceland and finished it. Yay! Goal achieved. This was great. I really loved this book. So in this story we are following 2 siblings, Roz and Harun, and we find out at the beginning of the book that their father has passed away, and their father is a very rich businessman in Malaysia, and he has made his riches in very unethical ways through palm oil plantations, first through logging forests and then through owning palm oil plantations. And yeah, I think realistically this book is an exploration of that, of the ethics of that, of the, you know, even if that person funds good things, does it outweigh, like, does it balance out the bad they've done, the destruction? And also this is talking about the communities where those palm oil plantations took over, and what happens to them, and what happens to language, what happens to villages, to people's lives, and then they have to end up working at the palm oil plantations because that's all that can be done. Yeah, really good book. I will highly recommend. I'm thinking maybe this is a 5-star read. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it might be. If not 5 stars, at 4.5 for sure. Yeah, loved it. I thought it was great. Okay, next job. That job is now done. I think I'm going to make a start on Schooling Misogyny next, and see how we do. Hello. It's much later in the afternoon now. When I just my last clip that I filmed was somewhere in the vicinity between 11 and 12 o'clock in the morning, and it is now 20 to 5. So I've gotten myself a little bit distracted, but I do have an update for you, which is that I have made a start on Schooling Misogyny, which I did after I filmed the last clip, but then I stopped at about 12 o'clock, or maybe a little bit after that. So I'm up to page 13 in this book, and already I have tabbed a lot of things. I'm thinking about whether I want to actually annotate in this book, because I have marked quite a lot of things, and I am reading this for a book club. But my thought is, I don't know if this is a book that I'm going to want to keep and reference, or if it's a book that I'm going to read and reference for just the book club and then be ready to let go of. So I got to think about that a little bit more. So maybe I'll read a bit more. But basically, so far, I've read the preface, I've read the introduction to part 1, and then I've read most of the first chapter of the book as well. So basically, this book is talking about the manosphere. It's sort of like a very brief introduction at this point, and basically outlining why this book is necessary at this time, and how things have shifted in the last couple of years. And there's a lot of references to Andrew Tate in here, and obviously this book was published before he got arrested, so it's already like slightly dated. Because it doesn't have that next layer of information about what's going on in that space. But it is talking about how, you know, there is criticism of, you know, labeling, and people are saying it's just moral panic, and that if you're looking at things in a certain light, then you can see how that criticism might come about. However, this book is making the argument for why it's not moral panic, and how it's talking about systems and structures. It's not just saying everything is the fault of Andrew Tate and his ilk, and that, you know, they're not symbolic, but they are also in many ways, I guess, probably more representative as opposed to symbolic of the issues that are underpinning all of these things. And basically then making the argument that, you know, and using the evidence that has been provided to them by people working in the system within Australia specifically, for what they have experienced, and how the underlying societal values, etc., how that's playing out in the school context, and how the structure of the education system is kind of like playing into that as well. So yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting read. And I would say it's not super academic in the sense that it is academic, but it's accessible in terms of the way it's speaking about things. It's not overly academic to be inaccessible to a lay person. So I think this is going to be a very interesting read. And also from the introduction, they said that they've specifically, when they were approached about putting this book together, that they would like it to be have that sort of academic portion to it, but also to have a very practical portion to it as well. So part 1 is kind of the exploration of the issue in an academic sense, and then part 2 is going to be much more kind of like practical solutions, etc. So I'm looking forward to getting to that part as well, to sort of see what they suggest as to how we can fix this issue, whether we can fix this issue. I'm assuming that they think so, because otherwise why would they be giving us practical solutions? So that will be an interesting read, but it is definitely one that I'm going to need to go through a little bit, not slowly, but like I don't want to rush getting through it just to finish it, you know what I mean? I need to I want to think about it as I go. So yeah, I think this will be very helpful in understanding this issue a little bit better, and also in thinking about my how I can work within, and like this is very relevant to some of the work we're doing at the moment in the union, the education union. So yeah, I think it will be a very helpful read. Okay, I'm going to, with very little time left on my camera, I'm going to read my chapter of War and Peace for today, and then I'm going to come back and sign off on the video, so be back in a moment. Okay, I have come back to do my final update. We read a couple of chapters actually of War and Peace, so I started out yesterday on page 221, yesterday got to page 228, and today I've read up to 247, so that's a good outcome for that one. Then let's review what we've already accomplished. So we finished The Secret River starting on page 181 and got to page 334 yesterday, finished that one off. This morning we finished Fierceland, so yesterday we started on page 172, read to 300, and then today read to 369 to finish it off. Poetry by heart I read just 8 pages of, so I started on page 10 and got to page 18. And I also read some of Schooling Misogyny starting on page 0 and getting to page 12. So, a successful reading vlog, I feel. Thank you so much for watching. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.